It's a long way to the top. If you want to rock and roll, you want to rock and roll? Driving on the highway, going to a soul. Stopping on the byway, playing rock and roll. Getting round, getting stoned, getting beat up, getting a bone, getting high, getting shook. Watch all your bones, it's harder than it looks. It's a long way to the top if you wanna rock and roll. It's a long way to the top if you wanna rock and roll. It's either doing one night stands, driving a rap old man. It's a long way to the top if you wanna rock and roll.
Good evening, race fans. I'm your host, Caden Reif, and welcome back to another installment of the 2006 season of the NASCAR Coca-Cola Cup Series. We're here from the title sponsor race. It's the Coca-Cola 600, race number 12 out of 36 as we conclude the first third of this fresh season. And we will take you to the track side for your starting lineup in just a moment here. Greg Biffle in the 12 car, or excuse me, it'll be Greg Biffle in the 16. The 12 car is going to be second. That's Ryan Newman on the outside pole, but Greg Biffle, your pole winner for the Coca-Cola 600. As we take you to the rest of the track for your starting lineup. Starting in third place, it's going to be Bobby Labonte in the 18 car, and starting in fourth will be his teammate. It's Kevin Harvick in fourth. Fifth place is going to be Robbie Gordon in the 31, and Jeff Burton with a nice qualifying. He'll be in sixth. Casey Atwood as well, nice showing. He'll be seventh place. Eighth belongs to Jack Sprague in the 55, and Ricky Hendrick will be in ninth. Sterling Marlin starting from the top 10, that's the 22 car. Kyle Busch will be 11th in the 43, and Mark Martin in the 12th position. Tony Stewart will be 13th, and Kurt Busch going to be in the 14th spot. Jeff Gordon will be P15, and the All-Star winner, that's Jimmy Johnson, he'll be 16th. 17th belongs to Martin Truex Jr., and Scott Riggs in P18. Brian Vickers will be 19th, and Casey Kane in the 20th spot. Matt Kenseth 21st, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 22nd position. 23rd, that'll be John Wood in the 6th, and 24th will be Scott Wimmer. 25th, Regan Smith in the 2 car, and Carl Edwards will be in the 26th position. Elliott Sadler in 27th, and Jason Leffler in 28th. 29th belongs to Jamie McMurray, and 30th will be Ricky Rudd in the 33. 31st, Todd Bodine, and Mike Bliss in 32nd. Clint Boyer making his first points race start. He'll be 33rd, and Eric Norris will start in 34th. John Andretti P35, and Jeremy Mayfield will be 36th in the 26th. Christian Eldridge 37th, and Tony Raines 38th. Ricky Craven will be 39th in the 71 car, Jeff Green 40th from the 96. It'll be Stanton Barrett 41st, and Dave Blaney in the 34 for front row rounds out your 42 car field. Take you to the track for the Command, most famous words in motorsports, coming your way in just a moment.
Drivers, start your engines.
Flurry of V8s roar to life as always. 120 laps, longest race on the calendar by mileage. It'll be the Coca-Cola 600 here from Lowe's as we roll off to start this long pace lap. A lot of anticipation, a lot of drivers looking to win one of the biggest races of this entire season. Biffle in the 16 will lead the field off from the pole in that Roush Kodak Ford. And of course, exciting as always is the Coke 600. Got a lot of laps, a lot of time for the field to shuffle up. See drivers come and go over the course of such a long race. And it is going to be important to play the strategy right, of course. Lowe's, so many pit stops with such a long race. You got to come down that pit lane so many times. We've seen accidents entering the pits at this track before. And, of course, keeping the nose clean. That's the number one thing you want to do. This race does usually go green, but we've seen some crazy wrecks at this place before. We saw the big accident in the final few laps last year in which Tony Stewart won that race. We saw cars on top of each other in that wreck. A massive accident that was in the front stretch leaving turn 4 that we saw that accident. Usually a big trouble spot is always off the corners, trying to keep it out of the walls and keep the nose on that race car. Greg Biffle, Ryan Newman will lead the field to the green flag here today. 16, 12, 18, 20, 31, 99, 30, 55, 5, and 22. Your top 10 to start this race. Pace car peels off. Biffle to lead the field, and we are green here from the Coca-Cola 600. Rounding turn 4 for the first time. Opening lap will be led by the pole sitter, but it's going to be Bobby Labonte in the 18 ducking underneath that 16 car to try to take away the lead early. Ryan Newman filtered in 30s on the outside, looking to maybe take it 3 wide coming out of turn 2. Shoving the 16 up the racetrack, but they found enough space for it. Bobby Labonte takes the race lead. Here comes Casey Atwood for second place. The opening run at this race is always just about trying to keep that nose clean. You want to make sure you avoid traffic. There is a lot of traffic to start this race. Field always usually runs in a pack to start off. The draft is important at this racetrack, and it has been for quite some time. And just a matter of trying to make sure you don't make too much contact, not trying to cause a crash with so many cars around each other. Greg Biffle ducks underneath a 30 early, trying to take second back. Bobby Labonte, Daytona 500 winner, leading this race early in the going. 16 second. Ricky Hendrick has moved into 4th. And Kyle Busch rounds out the top 5. That's 3 wide right behind him. If only for a moment, Robbie Gordon gets through it in the middle in the 31. He takes 6th place from Ryan Newman in the 12. Hendrick to 3rd. Biffle looking to retake the lead. Hendrick almost took it 3 wide for 1st. Just lap number 4. A lot of battling early. But Biff trying to take that lead away from Labonte. He's got the lead at the stripe. Side by side for second behind him as Ricky Hendrick looks to move up another position. Got so close to winning this race last year until Tony Stewart on the better strategy had the 4 tires to the 2 of the 5. And all the rest of the guys that were running up front late in that race said it was one that got away from us. We felt like we had one of the better cars in that race. Wanted to come out here and prove a point. They know how to win at Charlotte here at Lowe's Motor Speedway, and that 5 car looking fast early, but still got one more in front of them. That's Greg Biffle in the 16. 16.543, your top 3. 5 laps completed, starting on lap number 6 now. As we settle in for a long one under the lights. Kyle Busch and Ricky Hendrick side by side for second place. Busch in the 43 car. That T-Mobile Dodge trying to take away second place. Bobby Labonte looking to follow him back through for 3rd. Newman and Robbie Gordon fighting for 5th place right behind the 2 cars in front of him, side by side, couple of Chevrolets. But it is all number 16 right now. Greg Biffle comfortably leading this race at the moment. Talk about a story of a driver trying to go for it. Kyle Busch has had a good season up to this point, right around the fringes of the top 5 in the points at the moment, but has had a really good season up to now. Has a win in the Busch Series for Petty, and really seems to have a bit of a boat of confidence this year. Had some struggles with his previous team owner, Ray Evernham, and Red Bull bought out that team. Kyle Busch said he wanted an out, headed to another Dodge team, now racing for Petty, of course, as we mentioned a couple times this year. Has yet to win a race this year, has yet to win a race in Cup, period, but looks poised to do so early. He's got a good race car under him to start this race, but of course a lot of race left. And you haven't even completed double-digit laps yet. They're coming to start on lap number 10 this time by. But that Petty 43 has been fast this year, and some consider him an outside contender for maybe a championship. You think about a driver who really wants to prove themselves this year, a driver who's been looking to break out. He's had such a good year on consistency basis up to this point. It's just the trophy that's missing, but if there's any driver that's looking for a trophy, it's that 43 Kyle Busch, and he's proven it today running second to start this race. But he's got another young gun in front of him. That's Greg Biffle still leading this race. He's led the last 5 or 6 laps in a row after retaking that top spot from the pole. Traded the lead with Bobby Labonte in the 18 a couple times. He's now looking to take second place from Busch in the 43 car. Slips past in easily in turns 1 and 2. Excuse me. (16 and 18 with the cars to beat early. Robbie Gordon has moved up into 3rd place. Kyle Busch 4th, and Ricky Hendrick rounds out your top 5. Then it goes Harvick and Stewart, who have been 2 of the most competitive drivers this year. Ryan Newman runs in the 8th position. 9th is going to be Jeff Burton, and Jeff Gordon just moved into the top 10 in the 24 car, passing the rookie number 8 of Martin Truex Jr., who's had a pretty good run up to start this day. Also won the Open in the All-Star festivities last weekend. Worth noting that 8 car who's looked solid up to this point in this season. And that is your top 10 early in the running here today. Lap 12 completed that last time. Started halfway through lap number 13 down the back stretch. Battle for 3rd between Robbie Gordon and Kyle Busch right now. Still seeing at least one side-by-side battle in the top 10 per lap pretty much. Everybody using as much of the racetrack as they can. Robbie Gordon trying to find the lane on the outside. Bobby Labonte closing in on Biffle to maybe try and challenge for first. And here he comes out of turn number 2. Biffle a little squirrely maybe. That opens the door for Labonte on the bottom. Side by side for the lead once more. This 16 and 18, the only 2 cars to have led laps so far. Robbie Gordon joins the mix in the 31. Side by side for second behind the 18 of Labonte. Down the back stretch, mostly single file. It's all single file through the top 5 as these guys follow through the footsteps of the Interstate Batteries Chevy leading this race. Bobby Labonte comfortably holding the lead for the moment, but he's got a lot of fast race cars right behind him. Seeing some drivers filter through the field that had started a little further back. Of course, Jeff Gordon joined the top 10 a couple laps ago. Got around the 8 of Martin Truex Jr., who is starting to pick his way back up. Currently sits in the top 10. Casey Kane is running pretty well today. Sits just behind the 8, working on him for what I believe is P10. Kurt Busch has also picked up a couple of spots and moved up towards this top 10. Tony Stewart running well is at the same time as his Ganassi teammate. Labonte and Robbie Gordon for the race lead. Here comes the 31 down the back stretch on the bottom. Trying to make it a 3rd leader of this race, but Bobby Labonte's going to shut him out. Heck of a run on the outside, making that top lane work, and the 18 holds on to first for now. That opens the door for Kyle Busch to maybe make a move on the rattled 31. Harvick almost discouraged him from doing so, but Busch found a way underneath the 31. Gordon using all the racetrack. Trying to find that grip up against the wall. Side by side for second. Top four have broken away a little bit. It's Ricky Hendrick in fifth right now. Jeff Gordon in the 24 still continuing to slowly pick up spots. We've seen the 38 of Casey Kane move forwards on this run as well. But especially that 24 who's made the most headway out of anyone. He sits in sixth, looking to move into the top five past his Hendrick teammate here. Door to door as these guys leave turn two. Battle for second between Robbie Gordon and Kyle Busch up further up the road right now. Kevin Harvick, also a part of this mix, might try to take third. Gordon and Hendrick still side by side for fifth. As they head down that front stretch, side by side. A lot of cars in this group right behind the top four. Bottlenecked by this side-by-side battle right now as Jeff Gordon's still desperately trying to find a way around on the bottom. And looks like he'll get clear of the five this time into turn number three. Jeff Gordon up another place into the top five. Battle for third, Kyle Busch and Kevin Harvick side-by-side for that spot. Busch going to get back clear of the 20 on the outside down the front stretch. Just over 20 laps completed now. Still number 18 in the lead of this race. Robbie Gordon trying to find a way to track him down. Greg Biffle, the only other leader of this race, has slipped backwards just a little bit, but finding his footing once again in the back end of the top 10. Taking Truex, the rookie, with him. Side by side with Kane for eighth. Jeff Gordon now looking to move up yet another position, that 24. Looking good on the long run, side by side with Kevin Harvick for the fourth position. Harvick way up out of the throttle there on the outside in turns 1 and 2, and Jeff Gordon up another place. He's into fourth now. That 24, I tell you what, might be the fastest car on the racetrack right now, and it is definitely showing with how many positions he's made up since the start. Gordon started this race a fair bit of a ways backwards. He was in the 15th spot. Not too terribly far down the field, but nonetheless, you got to note who's notable, and that 24 is definitely quick at the moment. Casey Kane, of course, a little bit of a ways back, has also made up some positions since the start of the race. He started even further back. It was 20th for the 38 car, who now sits in the 8th position, so has made up quite a few spots and looks just about as fast as the 24, just about a step behind him in the traffic. But Gordon's starting to meet his matches. Here's Harvick trying to counterattack the 24 for fourth place. Gordon not quite giving up on that outside, though, and is going to stay clear of the 20. Maybe, no, had a second guess on the throttle coming out of turn 2. Harvick stays with him. Newman jumps underneath the 5 right behind these two. Very close between the 12 and 5. Lucky they didn't run into each other there. Gordon still trying to fight back on the outside lane, but again, almost got the wall that time. And Harvick with the better exit managed to stay in the throttle, and he clears the 24. Now it's Ryan Newman fighting him for 5th. Bobby Labonte still in the lead of this race, but he's got Kyle Busch right up his back end at the moment. Find a way around that 18 for the lead. Robbie Gordon instead will duck underneath for second place. And instead it will be pit stops. In they come, 43 and 31, going to be the first takers. We see Mark Martin, Carl Edwards, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. A lot of Fords in here. Jason Leffler. And Tony Raines, a couple of members of pitters as well. So now it's just the 18 of Bobby Labonte out front for the moment. And we'll see the rest of these leaders come in just a few laps here. And the 18 of Labonte will come in. Jeff Gordon in the 24 liking his long run speed. He's going to stay out another time. 24 now to the lead as Labonte heads into the pits. Ooh, seeing contact back there. That was McMurray and Stewart. Couple of teammates that just got into each other getting into the pit lane. Hopefully no worse for wear, as McMurray couldn't get that thing slowed up and ran into the 42 car. Seeming like he doesn't have too much damage on the front of his Dodge. But Stewart with a pretty hefty knock on the back of his 42. Seeing the first takers leave the pits, Kyle Busch a long way ahead of Robbie Gordon. And the 24 of Jeff Gordon will lead the final group of pitters in. Matt Kenseth picking up some spots on the outside lane there, entering the pit lane. Nice move by the 17, but pit stops. Final round taking place here. Here's Jeff Gordon into his box for his pit stop. And Gordon is away. Seeing Greg Biffle still in his box. Seeming like maybe an incident in the pits involving the 16. Yes, got into Scott Riggs. And issues for him having to get that thing sorted out. So Greg Biffle is going to lose a lot of time and a lot of positions. A real tough break for one of the better cars on the racetrack, the pole sitter no less. So he falls way backwards. Jeff Gordon rejoins the racetrack with Edwards and Kane. Nice stop by the 97 who picked up a couple positions there. And it'll be Kyle Busch in the 43 with the undercut, who takes away the race lead from Bobby Labonte. Sits a little bit of a ways behind in second. It's Robbie Gordon, Kevin Harvick, and then Casey Kane, who just got past the 97 with Carl Edwards for fifth. And Biffle rejoins the track a lap down. Will be the only car of such that is lapped here. And as a matter of fact, the second to last car is his teammate. That'd be the 6 of John Wood, who also had a rough pit stop. Just things not going the way of Roush in this race and really this season. It's been a story of misfortune for them. John Wood is a long way behind the two other cars who were involved in pit road incidents. That's the 83 of Elliott Sadler and the 57 of Scott Riggs, who run a long way out of the rest of this pack right now. A couple other drivers who have had issues. Sterling Marlin is a bit of a ways back after a top 10 starting spot. Tony Stewart had to get repairs after being ran into by his teammate. He sits in 34th. Jack Sprague ran into some troubles in the pits as well. He's 29th. And seeing just a lot of issues for these guys trying to make it on pit road. We always talk about it. The pit lane is treacherous at this racetrack. And really at any racetrack, the pits are one of the most important aspects. Battle for second, that's Harvick and Bobby Labonte, two teammates fighting for position. They got Robbie Gordon right behind, trying to close in on Kyle Busch, who sits in the lead, but they've got the draft of that 43 and should catch up in a couple laps here. Should be 4 in this mix for the lead, maybe 5 or more, with Kane, Edwards, and Gordon all bunched up, 5th through 7th. Busch got the 20 of Harvick breathing down his neck. Down the backstretch and into turn number 3 here. Excuse me while I bring up season standings here, reason for the pauses, but Busch and Harvick for the lead. Here comes the 20, looking to the bottom in turn 1. And Kevin Harvick will take the race lead away. He's had a stellar season up to this point, without a win so far in the year, but has looked very, very fast and proven it today. Got the lead once again, approaching a third of the way through. be on lap number 40, which is just a couple of laps away. Kyle Busch not going down without a fight, though, and here comes the 43 back to the bottom, trying to fight with Harvick for first. Had the lead just about as Labonte goes with the 43 off of gonna oppose his teammate there. I mixed my words up. 43 out of turn 2 got the lead, but here comes Bobby Labonte, one of the dominant cars of the day, looking to the bottom, trying to take first. Couldn't stay with him though, and Kyle Busch is gonna have P1 all to himself in turn number 3 that time. Triple threat of Chevys right behind him, 20, 18, 31. Man, Bobby Labonte got loose there out of turn number 4. Harvick clears his teammate on the outside. Probably saying, hey, you just gave our opposition the lead. But with the way that 20's running, probably too fast to really mind. Battling with Busch for the lead. Lap car, that's John Wood up in front, who is a bit of a ways off the pace. Believe some kind of engine trouble for that 6 car, probably with a bit of damage. And get a look back at the pit cycle in which that 6 car was likely involved in an incident of some kind. And you would imagine that he ran into some trouble here. Yeah, got a hit there from the 22, so both the 6 and 16 involved in pit road incidents, and he is going to get lapped here by the 43 of Kyle Busch. But that opens the door for the whole pack of leaders to bunch up right here for the first couple spots. Kyle Busch just about holding off Harvick, but he left the bottom open. Here comes the 20 back on the inside. Got the help from his teammate, but Robbie Gordon's going to jump underneath the 18 for second place. No, excuse me, third. Might be able to get second if Busch stays on the outside, leaving turn 4. 43 has the lead, just about at the line. Two by two up in front of the field, but Kevin Harvick will be clear out of turn number 2 for first. It's now Robbie Gordon for second with Kyle Busch. But Busch with a monster run in the middle of the corner on the outside, and he stays clear. He'll get back into second without any further fight. Jeff Gordon looking to make it 3 wide for third place into turn 1. Might have been contact between the 18 and 31 there. Bobby Labonte way up the hill, still 3 wide as Robbie Gordon got away from all of them. Not the kind of spot you want to be in. Kane up the middle, Gordon on the bottom, Labonte up top. Somehow none of them hit each other. Still 3 wide down the front stretch, but Kane gets clear in the middle. Masterful piece of driving by the 38 there to get through that mix, as well as Robbie Gordon, although he made contact with the 18, but Kane managed to not hit anybody. And an even better job by all of them to not junk it there. Up in that mix. Top 4 break away thanks to all the 3 wide. Casey Kane got away from him. Kevin Harvick still leading this race. for the lead here as Casey Kane ducks underneath for first place. And that 38, coming off some momentum, he's going to win, or had a win. Excuse me, don't know what I'm talking about, but the 38 had a win last week, or a couple of weeks ago. It was the last points week. And, excuse me, going to get interrupted here. Problems for the 33, Ricky Rudd, who had some kind of engine trouble, and that is going to bring out our first caution of this race. So yellow flag will fly thanks to the impediment of the 33 car, and we are under yellow flag, right as Casey Kane took the lead. Just past lap number 50 here. That brings us to our first caution of the day, just a little bit of a ways prior to halfway. Free pass will belong to the 16 car of Greg Biffle. Looking like some interesting strategy calls here. Kyle Busch might be about to stay out. No, maybe not. Thought he was going to stick it on the racetrack there, but it looks like he will think better of it. Casey Kane brings the field into the pits here. Lap number 52 coming to lap 53. Seeing John Wood stay out there. He pit just before the yellow flag came out. 4 tires and fuel for pretty much everybody here. Tires and fuel on that 38, and Kane will get away from his pit box. Very close with the 20 here of Kevin Harvick, but looking like he will just about win this race off of pit road and hold on to the first position. And he does exactly that. So we'll take you to intermission here. Casey Kane, your race leader here in the Coke 600. Lap number 53, we will be right back. Back from intermission here at Lowe's as we get set to go back green with Casey Kane in the lead. It'll be lap number 56 on the restart for your race leaders. Casey Kane in the lead, of course. Kevin Harvick going to be starting in the second position. Narrowly lost that race off of pit road. Jeff Gordon starts in third. Carl Edwards had himself a nice run today. He sits in the fourth position, and Kyle Busch rounds out your top five. Ricky Hendrick in sixth, Ryan Newman in seventh. Jimmy Johnson's recovered up to the eighth position. Kurt Busch will be in the ninth spot. Mark Martin had a good run today as well. He's in the 10th spot as we get set to take this restart here. With the base car peeling off into pit road. 65 laps remaining in this race on the start, and Casey Kane into the restart box leads the field, and we are back green here from Lowe's. A couple of drivers thought about ducking low on the start, thought better of it though. Whole field remains single file as we head into turn number one with Kane keeping everybody at bay for the moment, but Harvick has a little bit of a run out of turn two. Kane leads out of turn four, held the 20 at bay, but for how long? Harvick looks to the inside towards turn one. And he's going to try to take the lead away. Jeff Gordon right behind on the bottom. Kane with the run on the outside, managed to keep his foot in the throttle, so it's dead even down the backstretch between the two leaders. Gordon trying to split it three wide up the middle, couldn't find the gap for it. Still side by side for the lead. What a battle this is for first. Kane still has the lead just about at the line. Heading into turn one this time with the whole field stacked up behind. Harvick chasing the 38 up the track, and he gets clear for the race lead out of turn two. Edwards will move into second place. Kyle Busch follows into third. Gordon again trying to take it three wide out of turn two. Still can't find the speed to do so. Jimmy Johnson has found his way all the way up into the top five as he's battling with his teammate in the 24 of Jeff Gordon for fifth place. Down the backstretch as Kane will duck underneath of Kyle Busch for third. Carl Edwards thought about making a move for the race lead, but he'll stick behind the 20 for now. Kane through into third. Jimmy Johnson up another place. That's the All-Star winner and your points leader. He moves into fourth. Harvick got a couple of fast forwards bearing down on him right now. Halfway in this race. 60 completed, 60 to go. And here comes Edwards trying to fight for the race lead. Jimmy Johnson moving up further. Gets underneath Kane for third place. Almost took it three wide for the lead. Edwards had the top spot by a smidge at the line. Carl Edwards has the lead now. Jimmy Johnson moves all the way up into second place. Jeff Gordon has been trying to follow through, but gets cut off by Harvick. He's side by side with Kane for the fourth spot. And here comes Jimmy Johnson trying to take the lead from Carl Edwards. But Harvick shuts the door on him on the inside on the front stretch. Down the backstretch, the 2 leaders go as here comes Kevin Harvick to try to take the lead back. Ran his best lap of the race that last time by. Underneath of Edwards for first. Carl trying to find some grip on the outside. 3 wide behind Jeff Gordon. That's for fourth between Johnson, Busch, and Kane. Contact! Kurt Busch and Jimmy Johnson got into each other. Somehow they saved it. I have no idea how they kept it together. If Kane was about a foot farther forwards, that 01 and 48 were probably out of the race. Kurt Busch moves into fourth. It's Jeff Gordon side by side with Carl Edwards for second, while Kevin Harvick has retaken the lead. Jeff Gordon with a run at Harvick for the race lead down the backstretch. Here comes the 24 on the 20. Kurt Busch couldn't really pick which lane he wanted to go with. Harvick got clear of Gordon on the outside. Kane joins this fight up front. Busch with a monster run on the outside, and he is going to get past Gordon on the top. What a move by the 01. Kurt Busch into second place now. But the 24 is going to counterattack him for that second position, all the while Harvick pulling away from the lead. But Busch gets clear again, trying to keep Gordon at bay for second while he looks to try and focus his sights on Kevin Harvick for the lead. (20, 01, 24, 31, 48 your top 5. 38, 5, 97, 2, and 43 make up the top 10. A nice run by Regan Smith today as well. Seen a lot of young guns up front in this race. Harvick holding off a pack of hounds. 50 to go at the line. Here comes Kurt Busch to try and attack for the lead. Got underneath him. Side by side down the front stretch. Chevy's in a line on the outside. Dodge and Chevy on the bottom. Here comes Kurt Busch, and he will take the lead for now. Can Harvick fight him off on the outside? He will be unable to, and Kurt Busch now takes the race lead. Takes Robbie Gordon with him. 31 with a chance to challenge for P1 now. And Busch took the opportunity once he got cleared. Pulled away from the 31. Robbie Gordon just got all the way through on Harvick. Now into second. Jeff Gordon trying to take third place. From the 20 car who's stuck up on the outside, way out of the groove. Jeff Gordon to third. Jimmy Johnson now working on him for fourth place. Kane also trying to find his way back into the top 5, but Edwards looking to jump underneath him and does. But Kane stays clear. Might have a shot at that 20 down the back stretch. 3 leaders under a blanket. Kurt Busch, Robbie Gordon, and Jeff Gordon. Here comes Gordon for second. 31 and 24 for P2 behind this Dodge leading this race. Jeff Gordon into P2, takes his teammate Johnson into P3. Kane still trying to find a way around Harvick for 5th. As the laps continue to wind down, in a thriller of a race so far. Jimmy Johnson trying to throw a block on Robbie Gordon, couldn't do it. 31 got underneath him for 3rd place. Aggressive racing in this top 5. Robbie Gordon getting in front of the 48, taking Kevin Harvick with him on the bottom. Casey Kane might have a chance further back. 20 and 48 for 4th place right now. Johnson got very loose. Here comes Kane for P5. Edwards right behind him. Kane couldn't stay with him. Now in a battle with Edwards once again for 6th. Kyle Busch fighting with the 97. That's for the 7th position now. Got a hold of that staggered 97 car after he got a little squirrely fighting with Kane. Top 2 have pulled away a little bit. Kevin Harvick jumps in front of Johnson to get underneath Robbie Gordon. Robbie Gordon almost throws it into the wall. Way up in the marbles. Kevin Harvick's going to get past him. Jimmy Johnson now working on that spot as well. Side by side for the moment between those two, but I believe Robbie Gordon's going to get the better of him on the outside lane. Jeff Gordon fighting with Kurt Busch for the race lead all at the same time. And the 24 takes away 1st place. (24, 20, 01, 31, 48, your top 5. This time by, it'll be just 40 laps to go here in the Coke Zero. Excuse me, not Coke Zero. What am I talking about? Coca-Cola 600. Headed down the backstretch as Kevin Harvick is going to try and fight for the lead. No, maybe not. Looking like he's going to pit instead. And he will, and they're wrecking back there, I believe. And around goes the 99, and they're wrecking big. Upside down is Mike Bliss. Huge crash in turn 4 while they tried to pit. Caution flag is out. Couple of Roush drivers in it. 16 and 99 involved. 22 might have gotten a piece. Big wreck. And that was Edwards as well, who got turned around in it. That started that whole mess. Caution flag waves, and Kurt Busch has the lead at the yellow flag, and that shuffles up the field greatly after a big, big accident there. Mike Bliss went upside down. We saw Carl Edwards, who was having such a great day up to this point, got tipped. That was off the 30. Believe he had his hand out the window trying to come into the pits and didn't see the 30 down there. Might have not gotten him on the spot and into the wall. And the 44 of Vickers couldn't find a way to get around the 97, and that resulted in pandemonium. They might have gotten it saved, but he came down off the wall into Mark Martin. 99 up into the fence. Christian Elder piled into it late, and that resulted in Mike Bliss, who got a big piece of it as well, getting turned down into the 0 and got popped up onto his side and flips up and over. And finally comes back to rest on his wheels. Hard crash here inside the final 40 laps of this race. Lucky Dog will be the 6 of John Wood. I believe he got around that accident, but we'll have to see. In fact, it looked like he was in the pit lane before that even took place. Yes, he was. So, lucky dog belongs to John Wood, who will get one of his 2 laps back. Kurt Busch will be your race leader. Casey Atwood, who was involved in that accident, somehow ends up in P3. Elliott Sadler will also be raved around in front of the leaders. We'll take you to intermission here. Big accident here just inside the final 40 laps. We'll be right back here from Lowe's and the Coke 600. Back from intermission here at Lowe's as we get set to get underway once more. It will be year 1 of Kurt Busch leading this race. Handful of cars out of it. But your top 5 will go 0-1. 31 is going to be Robbie Gordon behind Kurt Busch, your race leader. Casey Atwood will be in 3rd. 4th is going to be Kyle Busch in the 43 and Ryan Newman in 5th. 6th belongs to Casey Kane. 7th, Regan Smith. Eric Norris caught that caution at the right time. He'll be in 8th. Rookie Martin Truex Jr. in P9. And Jeff Gordon rounds out the top 10 in 10th place. Didn't time it too well. He went into pit road in the cycle that caution came out. But is still not too far out of the race. See a couple rookies in the top 10. Regan Smith and Martin Truex Jr. back there. Of course, Kurt Busch going to lead the field to the green. Still one more pit stop yet to be had as we take the restart, and we are back underway. Great start by Kurt Busch, who seems to have caught Robbie Gordon sleeping there. And Atwood's going to duck underneath his teammate for 2nd place. A lot of damaged cars back here that will probably have to be taken out of this race later. Down the backstretch. Kyle Busch looking to pass Atwood for second place. He kind of left the bottom open there. Kurt Busch loving this in his mirror. Little brother Kyle fighting for second. 35 laps to go here from Lowe's Motor Speedway. Atwood trying to use all the racetrack he can up there. Great run by Kyle, though, and the 43 clears out for second place. Kane follows into third. Here comes Regan Smith to join the top 5. Truex not too far behind him. Another Childress car. A lot of Childress cars up here. All 3 of them in the top 10. Kane fighting with Kyle Busch for second place. Ton of battles happening up front on this restart. Kyle all the way up the racetrack. Might have brushed the wall. Kane clears him for second place. And it is a dogfight behind Kurt Busch. Just trying to keep an eye on the back of the field right now with all these damaged cars. We'll check back on them in just a little bit longer. Battle for second still rages on. It's Busch, Kane, and Atwood battling for the second spot. Regan Smith and Martin Truex Jr. pulled up into this mix. My, oh my, what a battle it is right now. All the while, Kurt Busch running away with the lead. Kyle gets passed in a second, trying to run that 0-1 down, though. Kane clear of Atwood on the outside. Truex jumps underneath Smith. But Regan using all the track on the outside. Can he clear the 30 is the question. And he did. What a run for this 2-car today. Had something to prove and came into this week with a fast race car, and he is definitely showing it late tonight. Truex got the wall. Atwood clear into 5th. Newman moves past Truex. That is for the 8th position. Excuse me, for 6th, I believe, actually. 6th or 7th? I believe it's 7th. Can't get my words straight. Top 3 have pulled away just a little bit. It's Busch. Busch number 2, and Casey Kane, your top 3. Inside the final 30 laps now, it is 29 laps to go for your race leader, Kurt Busch. Casey Atwood way up the track there. He might have just got the wall. It was pretty close. Think he kept it out, though. Didn't see any sparks. Jeff Gordon slips past him. Moves into 6th.
You can really notice the fatigue setting in. Younger drivers tend to make a little bit of a push in the later runnings of this race as pure endurance starts to take hold.
Without a question, we've seen a lot of that today, and we've seen a lot of young guns up front. It's this man right now, Kyle Busch, fighting with older brother Kurt. Believe Atwood definitely got the wall that time. And he was up in the fence. Ran it a little too high, flew too close to the sun, loses a couple spots. Believe he's outside the top 10 now.
He's just trying to do too much out there.
Without a question, Kyle Busch trying to block Kane, going for the race lead on the bottom in turn 1.
Goes from Busch to Busch.
Kurt Busch out of the throttle, drops to 3rd. Casey Kane to 2nd, 43-38, your top 2. Regan Smith coming alive late still from 4th. Might have a chance to challenge for this win. It's Ricky Hendrick and Jeff Gordon for 5th. Top 6 all within a shot of this win with 25 to go at the line next time by. Kyle Busch trying to hold off that 38, but Kane looking to the bottom. Busch trying to run it a little higher, but didn't have the momentum. Casey Kane on the bottom for the race lead. 25 laps to go. It's anybody's game right now. Gonna have a couple cars fail minimum speed here. Tony Stewart in the 42 car will be one of them. 00, 21, and 16 also not very quick either. And all while we were away, Casey Kane took the race lead away from Kyle Busch. Got underneath him, and he is now your race leader. Got Kurt Busch in second. Little bit of a ways off is Kyle in third. Regan Smith still sits fourth. Fifth belongs to Ricky Hendrick. Martin Truex Jr., another rookie, also in the mix. He's in seventh place, just behind these race leaders. Here comes Kurt Busch trying to retake the lead from Kane.
There's only so much room on this racetrack, and you have to use every inch of it.
Without a question. Kurt Busch in a first. Kyle Busch trying to take second back. Regan Smith might have an opportunity for third.
Pretty opportunistic move there by the 43.
Made it work. He was at least there for the first set of corners, but couldn't stay with him. Kane gets back clear on the outside. Bunches everybody up right behind him. Truex has joined this pack. Might we see more? We've got Robbie Gordon, Harvick, and Ryan Newman, all three fast race cars at the back end of the top 10, lurking behind the top 7. And of course, worth mentioning, still one more pit stop left.
You never know. Maybe... Are you thinking maybe someone tries to back off a bit? Maybe try and finish this race out?
Hard to say. It was pretty long. I'd say it was 5 extra laps of pit window to the end of the race, maybe more, so we will see, but doesn't seem like it matters to your race leaders right now. Here comes Casey Kane trying to take away the first spot from Kurt Busch. Got underneath him on the front stretch. 20 laps to go. Kyle Busch lurking in third. Jeff Gordon has moved into fourth. It's Regan Smith fifth. Truex sixth. Trying to fight with the 2 for that last spot in the top 5. Ricky Hendrick is the one in the 7th spot, and they've pulled Gordon, Newman, Harvick, Johnson, Labonte. Everybody in the rest of this top 15 is back within this mix for the race lead. Busch up on the high side. Kurt Busch and Jeff Gordon slip by on the bottom. Regan Smith looking to get back into 4th place. Truex still trying to find a way into the top 5. Looks like Kyle is going to hold him off. Pull off that 2 car on the outside line. Got back clear of him. Truex back to work on the 2. Kane comfortably in the lead of this race right now, but doesn't have too much of a margin to 2nd place Kurt Busch. And 3rd place Jeff Gordon, who is right on the back bumper and on the inside now of Kurt Busch for the 2nd spot. Kyle in no
Well, that
man's
might
land.
help Kane's gap a little bit.
Just a tiny little margin, though. Kurt got back clear on the outside. Mostly single file right now. Kyle Busch trying to close in from 4th. Truex had moved into the top 5. As we mentioned, he won the Open during the All-Star festivities, brought a fast race car this week as well, and has a quick
It looks like we got a battle for the lead.
piece of race car underneath him. Yes, as Kurt Busch is going to duck underneath Kane, back for the lead once more. It'll be 15 to go this time by, and the 01 is retaking 1st place. Gordon behind him. Kane drops into 3rd. Might have a chance to fight with this 24. He will. Still side by side for 2nd. Kyle Busch closing from 4th. Running out of laps here late at Lowe's. Kane back into 2nd. What a move by him. And right away try to set his sights on getting that lead back from Kurt Busch.
Running out of laps, but you also still have a pit stop where things can get really messy.
Just waiting on that cycle to happen, which it should. It was over 30 laps to go, and we went green. Pit window's less than that. To the inside is Casey Kane once again trying to take the lead. It's going to be about that money stop, but right now it's everything on the racetrack. Busch trying to rip that top, he did. Kane still on the bottom. Fending off the 24 and 43. Truex Jr. joins this mix. 5 cars under a blanket, all for the race lead.
And that's
Soft
someone in the
hitter.
pits.
0 car of Christian Elder went into the pit lane.
So what's more important, just getting into your box cleanly or just having a blazing fast stop?
You want to try and get that stop as fast as possible for sure. I'd say getting out is more important. You want the tires to be warm. It's an important aspect, but still a couple laps for the race leaders left to pit. It's mostly damaged cars coming in early, as they usually do. Looking like 2 tires is going to be the move. The guys who came in just now already took 2. We might even see none from a couple of drivers. We will see.
And you can just tell this line is getting higher and higher and higher and higher as the run goes on.
Kyle Busch, 43 car, first taker. Five, 31-20, also in. Kurt Busch stays out to hold the lead. Got Kane right up his rear end. Down the backstretch and coming to the line this time. It'll be 10 laps to go here in the Coke 600. Hand out the window for the leaders. All of the rest of the top 4 are going to come in, and they'll bring the 2 and 12 with them. Money stop
Basically,
time.
the rest of the field, and there is no one in the garage happier to see that than the people in the 43 team. All of these people are going to be holding each other up.
Busch and Kane, back-to-back pit boxes, 2 tires on those race cars. Kane with a better stop than Busch, but couldn't get side by side with him.
And both of them held each other up there. Not a lot, but
Could make the difference with 10 laps to go. Busch and Kane leaving the pits. You gotta wonder where that 43 car is, and there he is. Lap car of Ricky Craven getting around the 01 and 38. Busch should move into second, but Kurt Busch should hold the race lead. Kane and Kyle side by side. That's for second place. They've got a bit of a margin to work with. They got to catch that 01 car. It's just 9 laps left.
and with the 0-1, Kurt's entire goal is just to get around as many lappers as you can. Put a car between you and that 38. You can get around lappers quicker than they can, you win the race.
Kane gets past Marlin. No traffic between him and Kurt Busch right now. Another car in front. That's the 77 of Todd Bodine. Kane is going to run this thing as hard as he can to try and catch up to the 01 of Kurt Busch, as well as keep the 43 of Kyle behind him.
And the other big part of it is when do you use your run? You go too early and suddenly you've opened the door for Kyle to come in and win this thing.
I don't think conservation is on the mind of the 38 car at all. He just got past Bodine. It's just the 01 and 38 now.
But we've seen just how quickly they catch up if you go side by side.
Kyle's not too far out of it in the catbird seat in third. He's got a margin to work with, but there are laps left. 6 to go at the line for the 2 leaders, and Kane is bearing down on the 01 of Kurt Busch. Problems for the 40. Made it to the pit lane. Racetrack stays green.
Question is, for the 38, when do you make your move? I think right now is the answer.
Couldn't get underneath him. Kurt had the run out of turn 4. 5 laps to go here from Lowe's. Busch a little wobble. Here comes Kasey Kahne out of turn 2 to try to challenge for the race win. Side by side for the lead in the longest race of the season down to the very end. 4 laps to go here from Lowe's. Traffic ahead for the leaders.
And we have lappers, slow cars in front of these leaders. This could get really interesting.
Kahne's got the lead out of turn 2. Busch with a chance to challenge. Trying to use Carl Edwards as a pick on the 38, but Kahne will get underneath him. 3 to go. Not much more traffic. It's just between these two for the win. Here comes Kurt to try and challenge back. Two laps to go here from Lowe's Motor Speedway.
Two of the fastest drivers in the sport and nothing but clean track ahead of them.
Kahne trying to use the outside. Busch with a chance to duck underneath down the backstretch. Not close enough. It'll be the white flag this time for Kasey Kahne in the lead of this race. Busch out of the throttle. Last lap here at Lowe's between two of the sport's best. Can Busch get there? Can Kahne hold him off? Two of the best going at it at the biggest stage here at the Coke 600. Kurt Busch will have one last chance here in turns 3 and 4. Kahne trying to hold him off. In a 3 and 4 for the final time between the 38 and 01. You talk about floodgates. This kid's got him open. Kasey Kahne with back-to-back victories. He wins the Coke 600 in spectacular fashion here tonight. What a victory for the 38 team.
You know everyone that said that last year was a fluke. You just couldn't put it together.
Kids got it made.
I think those rumors are gone.
What a run by Kasey Kahne late in this race to beat Kurt Busch for that race win. And the pass to win it executed flawlessly. So far back, but had such a run. Kurt Busch got just that little bit loose, and that's all it took. And Kahne just simply had the better car, I feel like. Outran him there at the end. Kurt couldn't quite get close enough to make a move back at him, and what a run by Kasey Kahne. Second career win, back-to-back.
After that final pit stop, it just came down to who made less mistakes.
What a run. And if there's ever a kid that's happy to see that checkered flag, it's definitely this man, Kasey Kahne. Back-to-back victories. Again, you talk about the floodgates opening. His second straight points win when it seemed like it was just a couple weeks ago impossible for the 38 car to end up in victory lane. But instead, back-to-back wins for him. He takes home the checkered flag here tonight over Kurt Busch, two of the sport's absolute best, duking it out all the way to the very end in one of the biggest races of the season. Kasey Kahne, your winner here in the Coke 600. That'll do it for coverage here at Lowe's Motor Speedway at Charlotte. I'm Caden Reif on behalf of Braden, joining me late in the booth tonight. We'll catch you next time. It's a pleasure to have you along with us as always. We'll see you then At next race, it'll be race number 13 from Richmond. We will catch you then, and as always, have yourself a good one.